with Intention, podcast where we bring you stories from around the globe. Hello and welcome everyone to another beautiful episode on Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. Today I have a beautiful guest with me, Christianna Carr. She is actually a fellow Canadian with me here today, so welcome. So nice to have you on our show.
Thank you. Thank you, Ava. I'm glad to be here.
Yay, I'm so excited. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, and we already know where you're from, but tell us in more detail, please.
All right. My name is Christianna Carr. And like Ava said, I'm also Canadian, but I'm over here in Ontario, Peterborough, Ontario. That's just north of Toronto. And I am a mother. I have four beautiful children. The eldest is 30, the youngest is 11, and the youngest is my only girl. I also have a 4-year-old granddaughter. Um, I call myself a begin within guide, helping you get in touch with that little inside, being playful. And I'm trying to build a business, a home business in my garage, a little shop. Did I cover it?
I think so. I think you got it all fantastic. So, yay, this is so exciting. So let's dive in and talk about your authorship and the journey. So you've started publishing journey with a poetry challenge. What inspired you to take that leap and commit to writing every day for that? Is it 20, 21 days, something like that?
It was a 21-day poetry challenge with a place called Book Leaf Publishing. And I had just saw the ad on the Facebook, and I'd seen it a couple of times. I thought, well, I'm just going to try it because it was free. And right now I'm in a position going through lots of different things, and financial abuse is one of those. So finances isn't something that I really have a lot of right now, but I keep growing. And so I decided I'd just join this challenge because it was a free challenge. And at the end of it, you had your book published. Of course, there was options to have some editing with some extra costs in there, but I couldn't do it. And I wasn't sure if it was a scam or not, but I could say it wasn't a scam. And I got my book. Can I hold it up now, or do what you want me to?
Course. So congratulations, and please hold up your book. There you are. It is available on Amazon, and we'll definitely drop a link for you here in this video. But there you have it. It's how did you feel to hold your published book in your hands for the first time? Did you ever imagine yourself becoming an author?
No, no, never. And I've been writing like pretty much my whole life. I've got journals from when I was 13. Lots of little things in there. So, well, I've always kind of dreamed of it, but never really thought that I would. Thought that, oh no, that's, you know, I'd like to write my story and stuff, but who wants to hear my story? But I'm getting really inspired these days with the connections that I'm making and the Diamond Beauties and being connected with you now, Eva. It's just it's helping me to inspire me to be more me and to keep putting myself out there because this just shows me that I can do it. It was a little thing that showed me that I could do it, and I need to celebrate myself. I haven't even done a book launch of it, and it's been out since November 2022.
Oh, well,
I got my
hopefully.
first copy in January 2024, I think 23. I don't know. I can't remember. It took me a while. I couldn't even afford to buy a copy of my own book.
Oh
So I
my.
finally got it though. I finally got it. Here it is.
Congratulations. Well, hopefully we'll help you to get you out there more, and of course, with other amazing groups out there like Diamond Beauties and so on. So the book is poetry collection. It's deeply personal and blending healing and fun. Do you have one? Maybe you like to read to us? Do you have
For
your
sure.
favorite one?
Okay, we'll pick a number between 1 and 21.
7?
7. All right. I'll read poem number 7. 7. In divine you all. And
Ooh.
that's something what I say, a begin within guide, because we're all in divide you all. When we say individuals, I say, instead of being in divide, let's come in divine you all. So what a perfect little pick that
Awesome. Let's hear it. I can't wait.
On page 13, in Divine You All, girls are taught save yourself for love. Don't give it away to any and every looker. While boys are taught go for anything that walks. If all else fails, go get yourself a hooker. I don't mean to offend any man or woman. I only mean to draw your attention to your own beliefs within. What have you been taught and what are you teaching just from the life that you've been living? How do you encourage it? What do you add to this world? How do you treat your girl? No matter your parts, we've all got human brains and human hearts. We are more connected than we are separate. We are more than these bodies we are in. We are more than this one life we are given. We've been given. We are one in divine, you all. In the truth, stand tall. Only the divided will fall.
Wow. Beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you so much for sharing. So
Thank
what?
you. And you know what? I was looking for that poem the other day.
Oh, well, there you go.
I didn't know I titled it that. And I didn't know it was in my
Oh,
book.
oh, that's beautiful. So tell me, in general, what themes or emotions do you hope readers connect with the most by reading your poems?
Their own, helping to draw them within. Like that's my, I'll read you the little, my dedication here. Um, the preface. I call myself a swinger, though it's not the kind I'm sure that come to mind. I swing my emotions after feeling them fully. Writing is one of the ways I do this. Dancing and singing, listening and playing music is another way. I have poems and songs from many, many years and randomly chose from the most recent ones to complete this book. My hope is that it helps others, even if it's just to show they are not alone. And I'd hope to maybe like if you got a pen, if it sparks something in you, you know, and you write your own, or you know, adding on to something, or turning the words into your own, or however, or maybe you hear a tune when you're reading one and you turn it into a song or whatever that is. My true hope is that it just sparks and helps you to focus more on you and what goes on in you. You know, as I think that's what's helped me the most is relating to others, not hearing people give me advice, but hearing other stories and hearing their sharing.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So you talk about connecting like with the little inside. Can you explain what that means and how it helps with the personal growth more?
Well, your inner child, that's what I talk about when I say your little inside. And we've all got them because we're all a bunch of adults walking around, or a bunch of children walking around in adult bodies. We still got them. They still run the show. And because you know, maybe sometimes they got left behind or something. They need our attention, just like all children do. And when they don't get our attention, sometimes they act up. And that's our subconscious parts of us. So when we get in touch with those littles, we're getting in touch with that subconscious part of ourselves, and also that playful part of ourselves. We get older and we tend to take life too serious. And so when we get in touch with that, with our inner child, you know, and keep that play alive, you know, it doesn't matter how old we get. If we stay young at heart, then it does make life a lot easier, I think. It's what's helped me a lot going through my darkest times is staying in touch with that little inside, giving her what she's needed. Because as adults, we're 100% responsible for healing the stuff that was done to us. That's what I believe. We're not responsible as children for things that happen to us, but if we keep carrying on, then we're carrying on that abuse or that harshness or whatever, you know, those negative critics and that negative self-talk. We're carrying that on to our littles. So I think it's our responsibility then to now look ourselves in the eyes, and when we're looking in our eyes in the mirror, that we're looking at that little child and talking to that child. Sometimes we feel funny looking ourselves in the eye to say I love you, but it's easier to say that to a child. So if we think of that and ourselves as this little child within that just needs love, you know, we don't speak harshly to it. Be kind to your littles inside.
And that was actually kind of my next question, but you answered it with you read my mind, like the healing within your own journey. So, so do you encourage others to use writing as a form of self-expression? Um, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, either self-expression or just getting it out. Like I said, I've been writing, there's been journaling and journaling. I learned that really young, and that's really helped me. And some people will write and burn their things. For me, I've kept them all,
I do
and
that
I look.
sometimes. Especially, especially when it's like things that because I've gone through a lot of different programs, and one of them was the burning ritual, right? So, but usually the ones I burn are usually the emotions I want to get out, something that maybe hurt me in the childhood or whatever. Those are the
Yeah.
ones I write out and then I burn. But like my growth journey, as I like I have a little notebook about my growth, those are key. But anything that's emotions, I really want to just like that's the ones I burn my personally. Yeah, everybody's different. For me, that
Yeah.
that works really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it does. It works for a lot. For me, there has been some things that I've burned and I feel that release with that. Um, there was a letter from my ex that I burned, and I kind of wish that I kept it because
Oh,
it kind of clearly showed. But that was something where I was like, okay, well, I got to clear all of this out to go get started. But for me, I found that that's like a marker for me when I can go back and read them and I don't get emotionally charged from that. I've also looked at it as in ways in helping myself where I look back and I try and take myself out of the situation and what would I say to somebody that had come to me with this issue. And I also read them for the laugh because I look back sometimes and because they've been read and used against me, I would put in there, try and speak code to myself. And I'd write down, like, if I know what I mean, which I sure I do. And I'm reading years later going, I have no clue.
mm, yeah.
So my code was so good, even I didn't understand what I was talking about. But I was sure I would remember at that point.
Yeah, but it's all in the journey. Like I've actually
Yeah.
remember writing some stuff and it would be like a decade maybe before I even went back to it. And sometimes it's
Yeah.
good to just go back and see, wow, look how much I have grown, or look
Yeah.
at the emotions and how much my life has changed.
Yes,
Again, it all
exactly.
depends on your own personal journey, and there's
Yes.
101 tools out there to go through whatever a person's going through. Um, so it's
Yeah.
beautiful, definitely. Lots of golden nuggets here. For those who feel they have a story or poetry inside them but are afraid to start, what advice would you give them?
Mm. Find a free 21-day challenge and just do it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Nobody's going to know you if you don't show you. It's just and you're not going to know either. We're not confident with our first steps. We're not confident with anything when we first start out. It's actually in doing it that we see, okay, I did it. And I'm still alive. I'm still here. Nothing
Yeah.
serious has happened. So that's always been the way I've lived my life too, is just to do it. And even when I'm feeling that fear, I do it anyway. Unless the fear is telling me not to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. Oh, I listen to those kinds of fear.
Yeah,
So
there's fear and
that's
then
not
there's
always
the
a bad
intuition.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's not always a bad thing, but
Yeah.
for those, there's some things, and yeah, that's just follow that flow because you never know. You just never know.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the thing that we fear the most is the thing that we need, but we're so set in our ways sometimes, like I call it stubbornness, that it's like we just can't see past that. And I've been there myself in those situations before too. I mean, there's times I was just like, just go for it, and then other times it's like, like you try pushing yourself and you just not budging, right? So, I've been in both situations, so not more than once probably. So I definitely know the feeling, but sometimes you just gotta do it. Like Nike said, just do it.
That's right, right. You never know unless you give her a go.
That's right. So how has sharing your poetry in the world impacted you? What else has it done for you? Can you tell us more about that? You said making new connections and things like that. Anything else?
Yeah. Wow. It's helped me to see that it's actually has touched other people. I had one woman from another group I've been part of, the Bold and Visible. She had to personally, she's like, we need to connect. She's like, I love your poem. She went through and she like, because there's no table of contents. So I put in my own table of contents, but I got the idea from her. She went through, she numbered all the poems, she put in a table of content, and she read back one of my poems to me. And I was like, wow, I wrote that.
Nice.
That's how it's impacted me. And then one of the first Mrs. Potts I went to, Cindy Eddington, she bought my book and she kept holding it up. I would be introducing and she kept holding it up. So that helped give me that courage to like, okay, that's right. I wrote a book. Okay. And allow myself to celebrate that. It doesn't mean I'm vain or egotistical or anything like that. Hey, we all got something to say and let's share it, and it might have been said before, but maybe it's not said the way that you've got to say it, and you never you never know who it's going to touch. you just
Exactly.
you just never know. And how are those people going to hear that if they're waiting for you to put your stuff out there?
Mm-hmm.
So put it out there because somebody needs to hear you say it.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody, yeah, I mean, we're all similar, but every one of us is unique in our own way, and no story out there is the same.
Yeah.
I just did a book signing myself this past weekend, and it was another amazing event, and people bought my the book. It's a collaboration book. But it's just, it makes me really have, like, somebody out there will read it. And if it's not my story, because it's a collaboration of authors in the book, maybe that next chapter they read and it will inspire them to do something else. Maybe it will be mine. Maybe it will be the next person. Who knows? But if it can make a difference in somebody's life, I did my best. I did my job. So I think it's really important to go do it out there, go out there, do what you want to do, even if it scares the bejeebies out of you. And I was the same, like when I first wrote my collaboration book, like it's almost 3 years now. I was like a deer in the headlights. I always say that because I was like, English is not my first
Mhm.
language. Um, did I always want to write something? Yes, like you. I've always wanted to write something about my travels, about my journeys. But I was this child, scared to let it out. And I feel like I was suffocating myself at the same time because I wasn't letting it out. I wasn't expressing myself. Now that I've done two, three of them, hey, bring on another one. It's so exciting, not only to be able to share your adventures, your stories, um, your challenges, your transformations, because everybody goes through a lot of different things. But
Mhm.
it's just like somebody reached out to me. It's like, I read your story about the never give up, about, struggling in your youth. And I was like, you did? And I was like, wow, people do read. People do read. And maybe it doesn't click
Mhm.
for some right away, but it might in a month or two or a year. You never know, or
Mhm.
in a decade, somebody will read your book. It's like, wow, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to get out there and share our stories, because you never know who it's going to benefit across the world, across the road or whatever, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what's next
Exactly.
for you? Are you working on another book, or are you creating
Hmm.
some programs? Tell us what's next for you, our superstar.
Uh, I do want to write a book in my biology,
Biography.
yeah, my biology's already been written. I was a higher hand in that.
Oh, I love you for that. That's so cute.
Biography or something like that. My stories. Um, I even have an idea for the title. Um, I do a daily video on the YouTube of Begin Within Guidance, and I call it the Daily Crumb. So it would be something along those lines, and it's taken those crumbs because that's what I've kind of lived on. I come from very very humble beginnings, um, and learning to take those crumbs and make them turning crumbs into feast, basically, and not just surviving on them, but actually thriving. And I'm still in the midst of it. We're still working on it. I'm still growing through these dark times, but I'm just amping up my light. I'm doing the Mrs. Potts. So I'm giving myself and building myself up and getting ready to like put it all out there. Watch out, world, because here I come.
Oh, I love that. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to publish your next book, biography or whatever it might be, another masterpiece. So, it's super exciting. So again, we will post how to get in touch with you, where our listeners can find your book on Amazon, and all the links will be shared in here. So you guys don't worry. But the name of the podcast is called Rise and Thrive, Mornings with
Mm-hmm.
Intention. How important do you think it is to set intention first thing in the morning?
Oh, it's very important. That sets the tone for the whole day. Like if you get out and you stub your toe, right? This is going to be a day. And then what happens? Everything, okay, this car won't start. There's this, there's that. Everything starts going off. But if you get out and you stub your toe, go, oh, well, today I'm going to pay more attention. And then you're going to start
Yeah,
paying more attention. Maybe that'll lessen. You
yeah,
never know what to give or go. But it is so important that does set the tone for your whole day.
yeah,
Your morning
definitely.
is so
It's kind
important.
of
Yeah.
reminded me. I used to work with a fella who used to say, when he ran over my foot one day, but it was like my toe was hurt. He's like, "Don't worry, you got nine more." I'm like, "Thanks." So even here, when you talk about the toe or brought that back, I'm like, "Yeah, don't worry, you got nine more too."
That's right.
Yeah,
We could change it into a positive. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, make your day glow. So, definitely, thank you so much for sharing all the insights, and we can't wait to see you more out there and making a difference in this world. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention with myself and Christiana. Thank you so much for listening today, and I truly hope everybody has a beautiful day. And thank you, Christiana, for coming and speaking to us. So nice to talk with you.
Thank you, Ava. Thank you, everybody. Heart hugs to y'all. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Take care, everyone.